And so we do have our issues and we have our problems, but this is a wonderful city. And
Pardon me, to those who haven't been here recently, or maybe who only come to work in the city but not to explore the greater range of what the city has to offer, what has made the city more appealing in your view, Councilwoman, over the last number of years? In other words, if I haven't partaken of what Trenton has to offer,
okay,
what is there for me?
Okay, so mostly in the summertime, but in the wintertime, we have new restaurants. We have the Smokehouse. We have all these restaurants. We had the Bowl open up with the Big Easy. Wonderful food, and the Smokehouse does First Fridays on West Front Street in the summertime every Friday, where we have tents, we have bands, and anybody who works here can stay after work and enjoy that. We also have the concert series in the Mill Hill Park, which is wonderful, and it's starting to draw a lot more people. We have the punk rock flea market that is put together. That brings about 3,000 or 4,000 people, and they do that twice a year at the Wire Rope Factory on Clinton Avenue. We have Art All Night, which is June or July, I'm not sure. That brings in about 40,000 people, and that runs all night consecutively for 2 days. It's an amazing thing. It's a great thing for kids. The circus squad is out there. We have the circus squad all year round at the Wire Roll Factory, where kids learn how to do trapeze and all kinds of, even clowns. There's a lot of things going on that I think that we just don't know how to market it. Mm-hmm. We haven't figured it out yet. I mean, the key, Philadelphia could teach us a lesson, because even I get emails every day from Philadelphia, the mural projects, what they're doing on their streets. I went and visited them. I talked to the fellow who was responsible for the Avenue and the Arts. They showed me what their future plans were. I wish we had those guys here with the ability to raise money from the people that they have, because we could turn this city into an amazing place to be.
You feel positive overall?
I do. I do feel positive, and I think we're moving in the right direction. There's been a trend where developers now want to come in. The price is right for the properties, and if we get the right developers in and have them come in and not only buy into the fact that they want to develop and make money and go on tax rolls, but buy into the art piece, buy into the history piece, buy into the marketing, tell people this is going to be a great place. And I think we're slowly turning that corner, so it's going to be critical that when people elect a new mayor, that they demand that they have the right people surrounding them that are going to keep moving it forward, maybe even better and faster.
We sit here now a week before Election Day, and you're on the ballot. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me a little bit about your professional background as a labor leader and how that plays into your operations priorities to re-elect yourself?
Okay, so I don't, I'm endorsed by the AFL-CIO and the Building and Trades and CWA, because I'm an ex-CWA president. But I think it's really, really important, especially in a city that has 1 out of 6 people living in poverty. These kids are never, ever going to be able to go to college unless someone reaches out and helps them. So the building and trades becomes really critical in that. And my work with them when they were building, when they tore down the Miller homes, it took me a couple of years working with the major developer, but we brought in 3 unions and we put together a pre-apprenticeship program where there was actually 6 men from the projects actually went into a pre-apprenticeship program and got an apprenticeship slot, which gives them the wages, their oyster, because once they become a journeyman, they can call their own shots and do their own jobs. Over a year ago, almost 2 years ago, I worked with the International Carpenters, brought them into a better way, which is a re-entry program for folks getting out of prison. And now the carpenters have a program, a training program at a better way, teaching them how to be carpenters and making available to them apprenticeship jobs. So those little things are really important. With my connection with labor, I can actually bring these labor leaders in and say, okay, what can you do to help me? They also support the Little Leagues. They support anything that I feel that's really important where we need sponsorships. They're always willing to step up to the plate and help us out. But most importantly is that they want to teach these young people their craft. Because we don't have VOTEC in the city, hopefully it's coming back to the city, and because a lot of city kids can't afford or don't have the transportation to go out to the campus in West Windsor. So I think that we're back to VOTEC and VOTEC training, and that's where I will come in, because then I will be able to work with the labor unions in developing really good, substantial programs for our young people.
When did you come to Trenton, Councilwoman? When did you come here, and what made you stay here?
I came here in the early 80s. I was in Trenton lobbying for my union local, and they had a closed session. I decided to drive around the city, and I discovered Mill Hill, and most of the properties were boarded up. And then I saw a house, and that was the house that I bought, and had to restore it from the ground up. And when I moved into that house, I didn't realize that it came alive at night with drug dealing, fights, and stabbings, and all kinds of stuff. So I had to start working with the community organization and encouraging people to come in and buy the homes and restore the homes. And I've had my battles. My house was broken into twice while I was sitting in my living room. So it was a tough road for about 10 or 15 years, and now our community is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And we do a Mill Hill house tour, and people come from all over to go through these homes and see them restored. So that helped me go into South Trenton, where 6 homes were burned down. And I went into South Trenton to see if I could help them. This is way before I was on council. And I spoke to the neighbors and asked them if they had a community organization, and I finally met these 2 guys, Ted and Dave, and asked them, can I help you develop a community organization, which they did. They developed the Jersey Street Community Organization, and they were in existence for years. They found out who owned the properties, they knew exactly how to call the city in, and the police and whatever, but they were beaten down by the drugs and the crime. And it's really unfortunate, and I had said to Trenton Council of Civic Associations, of which I'm a past president, when times like that happen, we have a community organization that's struggling with the crimes, we all have to come together and help them. So hopefully that's going to be part of the focus for Trenton Council of Civic Associations in the future, because we have to let those folks know that this is not acceptable behavior in our city. And we're responsible for allowing a lot of things to happen in our city. We can't just keep blaming the city. As a community, we need to take charge of some things. But we need the support of the city, and we need the support of the police department and the administration to make that happen.
We talk about $53 million coming out of the city during the Christie administration. Is there any indication by the current administration that there will be help there for Trenton that wasn't present when Governor Christie was in charge?
Well, I would hope that they would restore our capital city aid, and I would certainly hope that that would be the first priority of the new mayor, and that he would include several council members to sit down at the table with Governor Murphy so that we can negotiate this. And everything's going to hinge on what they discover in the Treasury and what's going on financially in the state after the Christie administration. But I think that the state owes it to this city to return that capital city aid, because we do house the state buildings. You don't pay full taxes on them. You pay a certain amount of pilot fees, and it's just not enough. It's not enough for us to be able to sustain ourselves. If you can give Camden and Newark a boatload of money, you can certainly look at the capital city and say now it's time for us to help the capital city. And that is certainly going to be what I'm going to be saying